I wanted to cover a couple of quick things in the war game here, and it's taking way too long for my Visual Studio to start up, so I'm just going to use Notepad. Some of you have indicated you don't remember message boxes. Remember, a message box is just a little pop-up that Visual Studio will provide. It provides all the code. It provides a little OK button, and it understands when you click the OK button, the message box goes away. So all we have to do to call up this little box is use the word MSGBOX, all one word, no spaces, and then we put parentheses after it, and in the parentheses we put what we want to appear in the box. So if I wanted to say hello world or hello, I would put double quotes because that is a string literal. I literally want the word hello with an exclamation point to show up in the box. So I put that in double quotes so that Visual Studio understands, take letter for letter, word for word, symbol for symbol, whatever this person has typed in the double quotes here in the message box little function, and just literally reproduce that in the text box or in the message box. So that message box would show up with hello exclamation point just like that. Or if I have a variable, like in the war game, I have the variable value that holds the player's card, the random number for the card, I can have it display in the message box that value, whether it's 13 or 2 or 5, by putting the variable name. And notice there are no quotes on that. That will literally take the 5, for example, that I might have just drawn in my card and stick it in the message box. So I would have literally 5, OK button, and that's it. If I wanted it to print out the word value instead of the 5, if I wanted the message box to have VALUE on it, which I don't know why I would want that, I would put it in double quotes. So double quotes says, take what I got and just drop it right in the message box. No quotes means it's a variable, it's something in memory, drop the value from memory that's stored in there, the card value in there. The next thing we're going to do today is put picture boxes on the form. So we want 2 picture boxes. And I'll leave it to you to kind of size them and maybe make the form bigger so you can fit one picture box maybe under the computer caption and one under the player. You know how we have player and then the card, and then maybe under that temporarily right now you could put the message box for the player's card. Then in that other column we have the word in all caps computer. Then we have like the label that shows the card value as it's drawn. Well, under that maybe you could kind of line up another picture box, because I want those 2 labels with the numbers to go away, and I want the picture boxes ultimately to replace them and show the cards, but it's going to take us a little work to get there. So we're going to name one pick player, and we're going to name one pick computer. So put 2 picture boxes on there and kind of line them up. Now this is where it gets a little tricky. So we need to think about this. We're going to have a deck of cards. We have pictures for a deck of cards. Now you can either get ones with the suit. Now that's going to be like 52 pictures. Or get ones that are generic with no suit, or you can make them in paint. So it just has the number on there, like 1 or queen. You might have a picture of a queen. So if you can get those, you're only dealing with 13 pictures. See what I'm saying? Do you want to have to be swapping out 52 pictures and figuring out if it's ace of clubs, or do we just care if it's an ace and we want an ace in there? So my recommendation is get 13 generic pictures with no suit, just the face value, including ones with jack, queen, and king on there. Now you may have to make these in Paint or whatever comparable program that's on your computer. So I want you to spend today, because I'm telling you the 52 card thing is going to be way too much and for us to start off with, and I had meant to tell you that the other day, I forgot. So we really just want a generic deck that has no suit whether you make those or you find those online, and make sure you size them to fit on our small form, okay, because we don't want the picture too big. So spend some time today doing that, and I will try to get some code ready for you. We're going to have to basically write an if statement to swap pictures based on the random card draw that we have. The other thing I introduced in our last lecture was the concept of an if, which gives us a way to make decisions. That's a new concept, I think, for everybody. I gave you 3 simple, distinct if statements where we check to see whose card was the player's less than the computer, was the player's greater than the computer, was the player's equal to the computer. So those were 3 separate if statements to figure out what was appropriate to display. Did the player win, the computer win, or was it a tie? We're going to get more and more practice with if statements. So what we're going to do is something like if the card drawn equals a 13, then in our picture box we're going to say, pick player dot picture equals, and we're going to point it to the picture of the king card. And if it's a 12, it's going to be a queen, and 11 is going to be a jack. If it's a 10, we're going to show the face card that has a 10 on it. If it's a 1, we're going to show the card with an ace, and that's all going to be driven by if statements. So prepare for that, and I'll try to get you some code.